So at this time, I'll turn the microphone over to Hoover Police Chief Nick Durst. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank everyone for being here today. Besides me stands the team who played a significant role in this investigation. I want to thank our department, members of surrounding local law enforcement agencies, the FBI, Secret Service, United States Marshals, and ALEA for their assistance in this case. We said from the evening of July 13th, our focus would be the safe return of Carlee Russell. That occurred on Saturday, July 15th, approximately 49 hours after she called 911 and disappeared. From that point, our focus has been to determine Carlee's whereabouts during that time and what exactly took place. Let me say up front, this investigation is not over. We're still working this case, and we'll work in this case until we uncover every piece of evidence that helps us account for the 49 hours that Carlee Russell was missing. However, through the public interest, and in some cases, public fear that this story has generated, we owe it to our citizens to tell them the facts that we have uncovered. So I will give you the facts that we know today. On July 13th, at approximately 8:20 p.m., Carlee left work from a business at the Summit. Surveillance video from her place of employment shows Carlee concealed a dark-colored bathrobe, a roll of toilet paper, and other items belonging to the business prior to her departure. She ordered food from Taziki's at the Colonnade and traveled there. She then traveled to Target on 280, where she purchased some granola bars and Cheez-Its. From there, she remained in the parking lot at that shopping center until 9:21 p.m. when she drove to I-459. Carlee communicated on her cell phone with individuals known to her while on her path of travel up to the point of calling 911 at 9:34 p.m. And at this time, we will play the 911 call in its entirety.
On Interstate 459, and there's just a kid just walking by themselves. Oh, hold on. Where on 459 are you? I'm right next to the exit 10 by the cover bed, like you got my meeting. Okay, so you're before the exit? Yes. Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Okay, 480. Towards Tuscaloosa. Okay. And was the child on the left or right side? On the right side. Were they walking northbound or southbound? They're walking towards Tuscaloosa. Walking southbound, or how old they like? Like a toddler, like, did you like 3 or 4? Did you go under with them? Are you still with them? Okay, are you with the child right now? No, I'm not. Get out of the car. Do you mind saying you know what you said? Yeah. What kind of car are you in? I'm in a Mercedes. It's a sedan. Okay. Did you talk to anything? No. Do they look like they're injured? No, they don't. Are you? Okay, so clothes? Yeah. What are you wearing? It looks like you have any clothes on. It looks like a diaper. And you don't see any cars anywhere? No, no cars anywhere. Okay. All right. What's your name? My name is Carlee Russell. No, but I can't really see them that good. Okay, try to see them on for the best chance. No, she's not. You can't really see that. Look. Okay. All right. You just try to say, I don't know. Officers are on the way, okay? Okay, thanks.
Relative, after speaking with the 911 operator, she went missing during that conversation sometime after 9:36 p.m. Traffic camera footage depicted this portion of the incident. That footage was analyzed as part of the investigation in conjunction with the 911 call and cell phone data to accurately determine the time frame. Carlee's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time. No one has called to report that the child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate. Data from Carlee's phone, including her Life 360 app, shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in a vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards. That is 6 football fields straight. 600 yards. The Hoover 911 Center received a second call from Carlee's mother, stating that a relative was on the phone with her when they heard Carlee scream, and then they had an open phone line. Hoover police officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched. Several other officers arrived shortly. They located Carlee's wig and cell phone in the grass near the vehicle. Her purse was located in the front seat of her vehicle with her Apple Watch in the purse. The food she ordered for Tzatziki's was also in the car. The items she purchased from Target, as well as the items taken from her place of employment, were not in the vehicle, nor were they located anywhere around the scene. Hoover police deployed all available assets from the point in the search for Carlee. Additional resources were called in to include our own drone unit, crime scene investigators. Numerous detectives responded to the scene. Throughout the day Friday, officers from surrounded local and federal agencies assisted Hoover police in the search for Carlee Russell. Officers returned to the scene on 459 to the thorough line search for evidence. K-9 teams from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department responded to check for any sign of Carlee, the child that she claimed to see, and anything else that could be considered evidence in this case. Those searches all turned up empty. Private citizens, including search parties organized by her family, friends, began looking everywhere that they could to find any trace. These searches took place throughout the day Friday and again on Saturday, yielding nothing. At 10:44 p.m. on July 15th, Hoover 911 receives a call from Carlee's residence stating that she returned home on foot. In subsequent investigations, detectives obtained surveillance footage of Carlee walking down the sidewalk to walk alone prior to arrival at her residence. She was conscious and speaking with paramedics when she was transported to UAB. Detectives were able to obtain a brief statement from her prior to being treated and released. During the statement, she told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. She stated when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She stated he then go over a fence, then forced her into a car. The next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying. She told detectives the male had orange hair with a spot back. She said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and then was put in a car. She claimed she was then blindfolded but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists. She said that they took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but she did not remember them having any physical or sexual contact. She stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female. She said the woman also played with her hair, but could not remember anything else. At some point, she was put back in a vehicle she claims was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area. She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carlee had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear in her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock. Out of respect for Carlee and her family, detectives did not press for additional information in this interview and made plans to speak with her in detail after giving her time to rest. Detectives continue analyzing data from Carlee's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data includes several internet searches in the days leading up to her disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term "you have to pay for an Amber Alert" was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term "how to take money from a register without being caught" was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term "Birmingham Bus Station" was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. On July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted. There were 2 searches related to Amber Alerts on a computer at Carlee's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. There were other searches on Carlee's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, we will not be releasing the content of those searches at this time. We've asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers. What we can say is we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case. Thank you very much.
With that, I will report this request. Just please raise your hand and I will call on you. Carol.
Do you expect any charges against Carlee Russell in connection with the disappearance and in connection with what was taken from the Woodhouse call?
Right now, our focus is to determine those 49 hours, so the investigation continues. So to be perfectly honest with you, that hasn't even been in our mind or been discussed. Well, I think the family has stated to us that they didn't think that in her mental state right now, because of trauma of the incident, that she's not ready to talk, is what we've been told.
Stated that the abductor had orange hair. Was this abductor black male? Was it female? Black female? White female?
I believe it's a white male. Am I correct by saying that? Was it ever? Yeah, white male.
Is this alleged abductor yet?
Don't believe so.
Yes, ma'am.
Chief Brittany Gill, WBRC, has a toxicology report been done, and were any drugs or illegal substances found in her system?
We have no report of that.
Is any indication of mental illness in this case?
Not that I'm aware of.
Lisa.
There's been a this.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to C premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat. Cause on the dance floor is where we'll live. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop, I'll do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on
Oh, baby, yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Gotta get on up. What's up, family? Welcome to an exciting edition of Random Topic Thursdays here on channel gboot2786 on Gavin Richard, our backup channel, as well as Twitter, via Periscope and Facebook. Gavin Richard, whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. We are back for the Random Topic Thursdays, the hottest live stream in the cosmos, and we thank you for joining us. And as always, we want to bring our brother and friend to this channel. You know him. He's actually the host of he has a show, host of a live stream he does every Friday night. And I'm sure I'm just guessing and thinking, just because I know him, he's going to be talking about this very incident on Friday. So please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the author of The Man Crisis, Shawn James. Shawn, good evening. Oh, Shawn is muted. I'm sorry. Good evening, Shawn.
Good evening, Gavin. How are you?
I'm doing fine, my brother. I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. Shawn, while I got you here, if you want to do a plug-in right now, it is the time.
Well, my new SJS Direct 2023 books, John Haines Godbreaker and John Haines 1987, are now available in paperback and Kindle format, and you can get your copies on Amazon.com and all online booksellers.
All right. Shawn, I have a feeling your live stream is going to be really interesting tomorrow. The main topic that has been going all around social media, all on the news, from NBC to CBS, ABC, UPN, everywhere has been this. What's her first name left? Musty Justice sister out of Alabama. This story with Carlee Russell, who she claims she saw an infant, a child rather, walking along the interstate on the side of the road that was half naked and pulling over, calling 911. Where police come out and they find that she's missing, and all of her valuables are still in her car, including her Apple Watch, her AirPads. Her wig was in the car, as well as some other items. And it looks like, and you saw the video and the police press conference, it appears that everything was staged and that she fabricated this. Now, of course, police have not made anything official. However, they have stated that, as you saw, the police chief spoke. He said that she can only resolve the issue, so there's something missing. Not to mention, also, they did a search on her phone where they found that she had searched if she had to pay for her own Amber. When is the Amber Alert cut off, the age cut off, and do I have to pay for my own Amber Alert? Not also allegedly, or apparently from the police. She also watched the movie Taken or Googled it. So the question, Shawn, we have for today is, what is going on with Negroes?
Well, that question is easy to answer. You've got a lot of people who want attention on social media, and they believe the easiest way to get attention is to pull a stunt. And when I look at this whole situation here, I look at it as a woman looking to, again, pull a stunt on social media to get, one, attention for herself, and two, what she wanted to do was go out here and try to find a way to cover up the affair she possibly was having with a dude as she was going out behind her boyfriend's back. Because I believe the real reason why Carlee wound up fabricating her story is because she wanted to go out here and just have this little encounter with this dude who I think is out here. I think she had a side dude. And this is what a lot of women do. And I talked about how a lot of women live a double life like this in my book, Legendary Mad Matilda. And what happens is these women, what they want to do is play Little Miss Sneaky. And because they want to play Little Miss Sneaky, they go out here and they put up a front like they're some sort of good girl. But in actuality, they're out here creeping with other dudes. And they need to find a way to keep people from finding out how ratchet they really are. So what I believe happened here with Carlee Russell, I believe her name is she went out here looking to go out here and try to find a way to creep. So she created this big elaborate stunt that made no sense. So she's sitting there dialing 911 trying to tell us that she's found this baby on the road. But as somebody who's been in cars in places like North Carolina, I can tell you these cars go anywhere from 60 to 80 miles an hour. So there's no way she could have seen this baby at all. So she couldn't have ever seen
that. Yeah, and I'm sorry, Shawn. Go ahead.
So if this car's driving at 60 to 80 miles an hour, there was no way she could have seen this baby wandering in the street. And again, we're on a highway, and she would have basically the baby would have been dead, because at that speeds and those cars on the highway, they're going at 60 to 80 miles an hour. So that right there is a hole in her story that tells me that she's lying. Now, the other thing that tells me that she's lying is that she talked about how these people allegedly abducted her by getting her on the side of the shoulder, and another vehicle stopping at the same time at the same place. I don't really think that's possible on a highway. I mean, I know it's done here and there, but it just doesn't seem possible as related to the details of her story. Moreover, when she starts talking about, oh, they abducted her and put her in a car with a woman, so you're gonna tell me that you're not gonna recognize any details of what this woman looks like or what she sounds like. Then they're going to put her in the back of a tractor trailer, and tractor trailers in rural areas, again, people are going to notice this truck being right by itself, and she's in the back of this tractor trailer, and nobody's going to know this or notice this truck standing there. There's a whole bunch of red flags to her story that tell me that it's really not something that could be substantiated. Because what I believe, again, is that Carlee Russell basically went out here and was out here creeping with another dude. And what she was doing was, for the last 48 hours, looking to, again, have her encounter with this dude. And as she had this encounter with this dude, she possibly heard about the story in the news, and then decided to just show up after having her back blown out and getting turned out by this dude. And now the police are looking to do their investigation. And I believe once they do their investigation, they're going to find Carlee Russell was basically lying about the whole thing to cover up an affair she was having with another dude. And I believe she possibly may wind up having to deal with criminal charges as a result of it.
Oh, it's in Alabama. Yeah, they gonna definitely pursue charges on her if it's true, if it's proven true. I mean, and look, at this point, I know there have not been charges. Yes, I believe, I always say every person is innocent until proven guilty, but I'm also a realist. And this incident, based off what we have, does not look good so far for her. And it's also a disservice to I don't know what happened. Looks like okay, so I'm back. Can you hear me, Shawn?
Yeah, I hear you.
Everybody can hear me good. Yeah, I don't know what happened, guys. It just crashed on me. That must be Carlee. She's figured out the way to hack in here now. She like what we were saying. But yeah, as Shawn, you was talking, I was talking. What you're saying is absolutely correct as far as the interstate. I mean, I just came back from Atlanta, and cars are going even further than 60 to 80 miles. Some of them push 100, although they go over the speed limit. And the main thing for me is if you look at what happened before, this is somebody, and yes, I know people have there are people who do get sick mentally, but this is not someone, apparently, from all intents and purposes, who is mentally ill, has all her faculties. She posts on Instagram and Facebook. She takes pictures. She's a nursing student. She also had, am I right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. She's educated. She's a member of she's an AKA. She's also, if I'm not mistaken as well, not only just being a nursing student, she works at, well, I'm not mistaken, she worked as a job at a spa where she was seen, and you listen to the police officer speak, taking toiletries from her job. And the boss even spoke and said he's never had issues with her. She's always been an established employee, and he's never witnessed anything that would say otherwise. So I'm gonna play this. So, and this is, I think, another thing that does her in is her parents. Now, I want you to look at the body language on between her mother and her father. The mom does most of the speaking. Dad doesn't speak at all. Well, he speaks, but not extensively. I just want y'all to look at this. Now, yes, this clip is edited. It's a 4 minute and 33-second clip. There's actually a longer interview. I'm not gonna play all of that, but most important part, and this is their interview that they did with the Today Show.
Mental well-being. For me, I mean, it's almost doing
This morning, in an exclusive sit-down with NBC News, the parents of 25-year-old Carlee Russell were speaking out, describing the moment their daughter appeared on their doorstep after being missing for more than 48 hours.
What did you do when you saw her? We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because he was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But
Now I want you to look at this. Let me rewind it. This whole time, look at the father's eyes. Now, he's looking down most of the time, right? Look at this clip. He's looking down.
But
the wife is doing the talking.
Last Thursday, police say Carlee called 911 to report a toddler walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running, all her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time
That's
period.
another thing that gives
The
her
Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
There were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated where Carlee was during the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the chase is
about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma.
Now look, wait, let's go back. She said they asked her about this, and she said she can't talk about the case.
What happened
Rewind
Saturday
it.
night?
Look.
Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to
See,
the
now,
chase.
you heard what the woman asked her. She said anything lead up to Saturday. Did you hear a knock? Anything dealing with the case, we can't comment. But that's a simple question to me. Nobody. She didn't ask her about the case, did she? She asked what happened at Saturday night. How did it happen? Listen again. I don't know what's wrong. Damn it. Sorry, I don't know what happened. All right. This, I hate this.
We turn now to a case we've been following. It's a strange one out of Alabama.
For the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation.
And can you tell me What happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma of people just making completely false allegations about her.
Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out, but mentioning an abductor. Her mother asking to read a brief message to the public.
Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Father, body language saying bullshit. I mean, he's not speaking at all. He's not showing. There's no emotion.
To ask whether they're looking for an individual involved. Police have just said they're following up on all information provided by Carlee.
And when I talked to you all on Saturday, you also said your daughter is a fighter and she would find a way back to you.
However, we can't discuss the details of that.
But they say one thing.
So you can't discuss the detail.
It's clear.
Do you believe she was fighting for her life?
Oh, she definitely fought for her life.
Father can't even say it.
She physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
But she made it back to you.
She made it back.
That's the only line the fuck Dad
All right, Priscilla,
said.
so investigators are obviously busy on this case. What are they looking into going forward?
Yeah. Hoda, right now they're analyzing that initial 911 call and also that traffic cam video showing that car driving on the interstate very slowly with its flashers on, believed to be Carlee's car. And of course, they're looking at the evidence from the crime scene, including the car and her cell phone, which was found on the roadway nearby. Police say that they have been able to account for all of her steps leading up to her disappearance, but those 48 hours when she was gone still remain a mystery. Hoda.
All right. So you all saw that the father didn't say nothing, barely said anything in that clip. The mother is doing all the talking. They were asking her straightforward questions, and everything she was saying, we can't talk about the case. That's enough for that. That whole interview was odd. And I don't think I'm the only one that felt that way. When you saw it, Shawn, I mean, the parents' body language, to me, and yes, you can call me speculating all you want, but this is just my opinion. It felt like they knew the jig was up.
Yeah, they definitely knew that the jig was up. When I listened to the body language, I looked at the body language, they really didn't look like they believed their daughter, because they were acting like they knew that this was a lie. And I basically, as I was listening to the story, knew it was a lie. So I look at the parents, and they're basically saying, hey, this girl has lied. She's basically embarrassed us. And now they're just trying to just make some cover to try to save face. But they basically know that their daughter lied. And now they're possibly coping with the whole idea of their daughter living a double life. Yeah. And they're probably wondering how deep this goes.
Right. There was a local attorney out who says he can't believe Carlee Russell has not been arrested. Let me take a look at that right quick. I'm going to share that one with y'all. Hold on. I'm going to move on in a second.
She would escape. Days later in West Hoover, Carlee says she ran through the woods until she made it back home. That was late Saturday night.
Hoover police do not believe a child was on the side of the road at any point. Carlee's call was the only report they received last week. So what's next? WVTM 13's Lisa Crane has been following this story closely for the past week.
She joins us live again in Hoover this evening with an interesting perspective tonight on just about everything we know so far.
Yeah, so many shocking details came out of that press conference yesterday. It was a lot to process, but we know police are still investigating this case. They did tell us yesterday they really couldn't corroborate any of the details Carlee Russell had given them. We spoke to a Birmingham attorney today to get his take on it.
Aaron Guster spent years as a criminal defense attorney. He says, like the rest of the country, he was pulled into the Carlee Russell case. He says while police didn't come out and say it at the press conference, the message was clear.
She said she was kidnapped, and the kidnapping didn't happen. Our citizens are safe. There's not a kidnapper out there. So they use every almost synonym for lie, except saying she lied.
He says the search for Carlee wasted the time and money of law enforcement and concerned community members. The father of murder victim Anaya Blanchard wrote about it on his Facebook page, saying his wounds had been reopened and it wasn't okay to bring his family into the search.
Imagine going and searching for someone and they're off doing something else and they're never in danger. And you're thinking about saving this person's daughter and yours was not saved. Beyond danger, super livid.
Guster
Sean,
says
you
he
gotta mute
worries this
yourself. I
case
can't
could
hear.
affect future missing persons cases.
It's going to be much more difficult for African American women to be believed, and it may actually decrease the number of actual reports of things because people are already afraid that they won't be believed.
He says right now Carlee needs an attorney to advise her on how to respond to police.
If I was Carlee's attorney, I would speak for her. I would not allow her to speak to the police because anything she says can and will be used against her. I would speak for her. I would go to the mayor. I would go to the police chief and figure out if there's something we could do. That's what I would do.
Now, Guster says the police chief outlined 3 crimes that they believe Carlee has committed. That's theft, lying to authorities, and filing a false police report. He says he is shocked that Carlee has not been arrested on those charges. Live in Hoover, Lisa Crane, WV.
Oh God! When the black lawyer can't defend you, you know you're in trouble. We got 2 black lawyers saying this. Yeah, this was BS, man. I mean, the parents know the jig is up. Basically, this is the female Justice Smollett, and her search history made it worse. But I wanted to share that with everybody. So, Shawn, you know, the last thing I want to talk about this too, I want to move on. There was $65,000 that was raised by GoFundMe to help find Carlee Russell. What do you? Obviously, I think that money needs to be returned to all the people who donated it. But this appears to be a scam that was run. So, I mean, what final thoughts on that?
Well, I believe she definitely needs to return all of the money because this basically was a hoax, and it's just unethical to keep that kind of money because there was no kidnapping, there was no crime, and when the facts come out, basically what's going to happen to Carlee Russell is she's going to find out that there are penalties to pay as related to our criminal justice system for going out here and fabricating a hoax like this. Now, when I listen to this whole story, again, they never had the ring of truth because, again, anyone who travels knows that there's no way that you would have that any baby would be in a highway at that speed. Moreover, there were no other calls to 911 because other people would, if they were to have seen a baby at that speed, they definitely would have made that call. And that's where there's a hole in Carlee Russell's story. And I'm sure as the federal and state authorities start to further dig into her story, they're going to find out it's one of the biggest lies that she's ever told. And Carlee Russell is in a deep pile of doo-doo, and she's going to be possibly dealing with criminal charges possibly next week.
Yeah, this is bad, man. Yeah, possibly. Hit that like, share, subscribe button, man. We're going to talk more about this. Got a leaf blower on the house.
No, it's just a fan. It's really hot over here.
That's the fan?
Yeah.
Man, how big is your fan? That fan is one of them. It's one of those big blue fans that they used to have in the gym when the air was out and they would blow out hot air. What? Woo. It's a house fan?
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those that rotate back and to the side.
Well, it's great.
Okay. All right. Well. Hey. These fans need a silencer.
Well, it's 90 degrees in this room, so.
So that's a little bit better.
That's the low speed.
All right, well. Okay. The air conditioning is not working?
I don't have air conditioning.
Oh, that explains it. Okay. I got HVAC. I'm blessed. Thank God I'm blessed. But yeah, man, keep the I know it's hot up there. New York gets hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna move on to our next topic. I gotta point this out too. I just noticed, Shawn, I've lost 10 YouTubers. I had 1,360. Now I got 1,350. YouTube is scrubbing my channel. Y'all scrubbing my channel. I ain't even played nothing that you could call hateful, and y'all scrubbing my channel, man.
They do that to every black channel this time of year.
Yeah. They did that to Professor Black Troop. They were attacking his channel for stuff. I'm about to pay. So hit that like, share, and subscribe button, family. Please donate to the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. We're going to move on to our next topic, Shawn.
All right.
It has been over 27 years since the death of Tupac Shakur. Those that remember, Tupac Shakur was attending a boxing out in Las Vegas where he was gunned down. It was Mike Tyson's Bruce Sheldon fight. I remember as a kid where he was gunned down afterwards on the Las Vegas Strip. No arrest had ever been made. While witnesses had spoken to the police, no formal arrests have been made. Suspects have been made public and so forth, or alleged to have done the crime, but either those persons are dead or the leads have gone crazy. Recently, it was announced that that police in Nevada executed a search warrant at a house for a possible suspect. Now, this is 27 years after his death. So we're going to talk about this search warrant, ladies and gentlemen, right now that was executed. And we're going to hear more from this video, courtesy of ABC7. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and play that real quick.
Tupac Shakur. Police warning people to come out with their hands up as they execute a search warrant at a home in the Las Vegas. This is video just into our newsroom as that response last night. Detectives and prosecutors say they determined they had enough information to proceed with a court-authorized search. Tupac Shakur was killed in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas in 1996 at the age of 25. No one was ever arrested. Tupac has sold more than 75 million records worldwide and is in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe button for our YouTube channel and download the ABC7 Los Angeles streaming app on Fire TV.
Now with those new developments in the unsolved murder of Tupac, who was gunned down nearly 30 years ago in Las Vegas. Nearby, Kana Whitworth is in Las Vegas, has those details for us. Good morning.
Now at 11.
A potential new lead in perhaps the most famous unsolved murder in Las Vegas history. On September 7th, 1996, rapper Tupac Shakur was gunned down in his car near Flamingo and Koval, and he died at the hospital days later.
Nearly 27 years later, the search for answers continues. Police revealing they just yesterday searched a home in Henderson, this one right here, and they were investigating that famous case. Fox's Mike Allen joins us from the scene of that shooting with what we know tonight.
Yes, Kim Jacqueline. So it was nearly 27 years ago that at this intersection on Flamingo and Koval, Tupac was gunned down. And just yesterday, a quiet Henderson neighborhood, I was just there earlier today, was shocked by an enormous police presents and bullhorns.
Quite surprised. They've always been, pretty good neighbors. Haven't really met, just kind of waved across the street, but, never had any major issues with them.
People living in a neighborhood just off Wagon Wheel and I-11 in Henderson say they were startled at about 10 Monday night. Police information about the murder of Shakur back in 1996, a case many neighbors I talked with thought was cold forever. We asked Metro Police what was in the search warrant and whether Henderson police were involved in the search as well. We've not heard back, but a neighbor did tell me that of the dozen or so police cars he witnessed Monday night, none belonged to Henderson PD. Despite the lack of information, though, neighbors I talked with seemed very interested in learning whether Metro has come any closer to solving the murder that its officers have been working since just minutes after the shots were fired.
And I go, "Who shot you?" And he looked at me, and I could see him trying to get a breath together. And I thought I was going to get some information. He got his breath together. He looked at me and he said, "F you." And as it turns out, those would be the last words he ever said in his life.
If this warrant does lead to an arrest, neighbor Zachary Perez hopes it provides some peace of mind for Shakur's family and friends.
It would be something to find out the actual what happened, to for the family and for all those who are involved, kind of put closure to it as well.
Police have still yet to release the name of a suspect in this case. Reporting live tonight from Flamingo and Koval, Mike Allen, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
And Metro Police wants to remind everyone this is an ongoing investigation. As Fox 5 learns more, we'll keep you updated on air and online. Just click on the story on fox5vegas.com.
Well, this is the type of police work I certainly wouldn't want. Solve my murder 27 years afterwards. Let's be real, they didn't do a good job of it when it happened. As is Biggie's murder. There have been movies, there have been documentaries detailing even how law enforcement had alleged or supposedly been involved in covering up both Biggie and Tupac's murders. And sadly and unfortunately, the families of both men have not gotten any justice. Shawn, I looked at this search warrant. Wouldn't call this a nothing burger, but it's almost like it's 27 years. It's 27 years too late.
Yeah, I would believe it's too late, and I don't really think much is going to come of this at all. It's just them just putting out some information in the news to keep things relevant as related to the story. But I believe on all sides, nobody really wants to find the murderer of Tupac Shakur, because I believe that there are people who are part of that gang or lifestyle who don't want anybody to know because they don't want any skeleton bones coming out on them. There are people as related to Tupac's entourage who don't want stuff coming out on them. And then there's the police department, which really doesn't care because it's just a black guy who wound up dead. So I believe not much is going to come up with this. Yes, they'll talk about it in the media as related to it being a big story, but I don't really see anything coming out of it because the only thing that we're going to get is more conspiracy theories as related to Tupac and related to the overall his passing. All we're going to get are more conspiracy theories and more speculation, but I don't really think anybody's going to give up any information on anybody that's going to lead to any sort of arrest or any sort of prosecution at this point.
Well, I think one of the top suspects, that Orlando guy who they said was involved, I think he's dead.
Yeah.
Not mistaken. Now, he was the one that Tupac beat up inside the MGM Grand. Remember, they were staying there for the Mike Tyson fight. And Orlando Anderson, that's the one who everybody thought killed Tupac allegedly. And he was the prime suspect. But now I will say something, too, that is true. Dick Gregory mentioned this, but on one of Brother Ron Hurt's channel, but I've even read about this too. Tupac had a background dancer named Kashif who told the police everything he saw. When he did that a few months later, did you know that he was killed out at his farm in New Jersey?
I heard something like that.
it
back in
happens.
the
I
90s.
think that was interesting. That was it. Now that was very interesting. This is Orlando Anderson, by the way. Now he is from Compton, California, so I don't know what he would have, if anything, to do with Las Vegas. Obviously, he was out there when the incident happened. He was the one that got beat up because he had taken the medallion or assaulted. I'm sorry, he assaulted Trevor Lane, who was a member of Death Row Records. But that is Orlando Anderson, and eerily enough, he looks a little bit like Tupac.
Yeah.
Now he was a gang member, and he died by the bullet, and at a young age, at 23. Tupac was 25 when he was killed. This man was 23. Orlando Anderson was 23. Babies, kids. Well, I take that back. No, these are not babies. These are men. Young men. So, no, I don't know if anything will lead to it, but I think they're executing it so late now. There is no statute of limitations on a murder, on homicide, as you are aware, Shawn. So, and some, let's be real, there have been some murderers who have been caught 20, 30, 40 years, even after that situation. We look at a perfect example would be Byron Della Beckwith, the man who shot Medgar Evers. We also had some Nazis who were involved in the Holocaust in the 90s that were prosecuted. So, I mean, yes, it's possible. If there are people alive who were complicit in Tupac's murder, they were principals, they can be charged, even if they were accessories after the fact, because there's no statute of limitations on a homicide. And I further any developments, anything by the police department to, I guess, solve this case if it's going to lead to something. I could be wrong, but do I see it personally? Do I think that it just comes off? No, it just comes off as it's a nothing burger. That's just how I feel. But it matters to Tupac Shakur's family. They don't see it as a nothing burger. So, if it leads to hope of something and something positive comes out, then I look back at this and say, hey, I was wrong. Good for them. Glad they caught him. If it's true they got the killers, good. That's how I feel. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to move on to our final topic. Shawn, I don't know if you saw this earlier. Also, I want you to hit the notification bell, ladies and gentlemen. Purchase the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby, the destruction of due process in the United States. I got to talk about this, Shawn. There's a lot going on, and as of late with the White House. The IRS whistleblowers have made some serious allegations concerning the Hunter Biden probe. Those of you that don't know, Hunter Biden had been accused of falsifying, I believe, some tax documents. And of course, his father is the president of the United States, Joe Biden. Some whistleblowers have come forward stating that they were forced to go easy on Joe Biden's son. Now, there's some details we have here. Now, I know this is Fox News that is going to say this. So instead of playing from them, I'm actually going to look at some other sources, just so you all know who are talking about this. This is courtesy of the PBS NewsHour and the Today Show. I'm going to play this for you all right here. Hold on.
For more than 2 hours, two IRS investigators who say they have no political motivations claim their superiors and federal prosecutors stood in the way of an investigation into the president's son, Hunter Biden.
At every stage, decisions were made that benefited the subject of this investigation.
Joseph Ziegler, who is coming forward publicly for the first time, and Gary Shapley testified under oath that the evidence they uncovered connected to the president's son was damning. and worthy of federal charges.
It appeared to me, based on what I experienced, that the U.S. Attorney in Delaware in our investigation was constantly hamstrung, limited, and marginalized by DOJ officials as well as other U.S. attorneys.
With Republicans seizing on the allegations,
know whose story hasn't changed? These two guys.
Democrats on the panel did not question the credibility of the witnesses' claims.
I think that they're honest witnesses, they're public servants. I don't question their integrity.
But argued they are investigators, and prosecutors are the ones who get to make the call on indictments.
Well, that's standard. Investigators and prosecutors disagree all the time, right? I mean, and so the prosecutors are the ones that make the decision.
Shapley and Ziegler testified that U.S. Attorney David Weiss, a Trump appointee, told them he did not have ultimate authority in the case. A claim Weiss has rejected in 2 different letters to Congress, and Attorney General Merrick Garland backed up.
I'm saying he was given complete authority to make all decisions on his own.
President Biden has repeatedly denied any connection to his son's business dealings, and specifically has rejected that he was with his son when Hunter sent a WhatsApp message to a business associate, a message the whistleblowers shared as evidence.
Were you involved? No, I wasn't, and I don't know. Were you? No.
Now, among the claims by the IRS whistleblowers is that there was enough evidence to charge Hunter Biden with multiple felonies. Prosecutors felt differently and have cut a plea deal with the president's son on misdemeanor charges, which he will answer in court next week. Hunter Biden's lawyer has called the WhatsApp message cited by the whistleblowers fake and says that the agents are engaged in an orchestrated political attack on the Bidens. Hoda?
All right, Ryan Nobles for us there at the Capitol. Ryan, thank you.
Hey, sorry, Al. Okay, so this is not, I don't think consider something like this to be a shock. If this is true, this is the president's son. And I would be shocked if he did not receive some type of preferential treatment. Shawn, what do you think of the situation with the IRS whistleblowers? Do you think this is a nail in the coffin for Hunter Biden? And also, how does this affect his father's campaign?
It could do major damage to his father's campaign, because if it's looking like he's getting preferential treatment, this could be a big scandal similar to what happened to Richard Nixon, and it could just destroy his entire chances of getting reelected, because Joker Joe is already on thin ice with the American people, and if it's shown that he's trying to go out here and cover up some alleged issues with his son as related to the IRS, that's going to alienate a lot of Americans who've gone out here and paid their taxes. It's going to alienate a lot of voters out here who will feel like he's basically a so-called elite, and he's getting away with things that other people just can't get away with. And this basically could wind up turning the electorate on Joker Joe and his son, because this could just basically make it where both of them are seen as criminals that are thinking that they're above the law. And this whole situation could basically blow up in their face, because Joker Joe is taking the American peoples for granted and really not really seeing them as serious. So this whole situation could just blow up in their faces, and it could be the thing that could cost Joker Joe the election in November if it's pressed on by either Kennedy, who is running against Joker Joe, or Donald Trump. If they press on this and make it their main issue, they could basically take the presidency and the House and the Senate, because they'll say that Joker Joe is too corrupt and his administration is just unethical and cannot be trusted.
Yeah, I think also you got to factor in this man is 83 years old. He's the oldest president he's 80, 81, 82. How old is he? He's 83, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his age and his health play a role. So he's like 80. He's in his 80s. So I think that factors in as well. And can this Biden administration be trusted? A lot of people I've read, even right now, Shawn, do you know that black votership, has gone down? They even have Jim Carville talking about it. Skeletor, as I call him, talking about it on NBC. And I think even with Biden, he knows that black votership is down and support is down for him, except with that older crew.
Well, he did it to himself, because he blew the black vote off, And he also underestimated the power of new black media. I mean, Joker Joe, when he threw a middle finger up at black people in 2020, thought he could have these Latinos, thought he would have these Asians, thought he would have these other groups to go out here and be his new voting base. But he's finding out that by alienating the black voter, he's basically going to wind up putting himself in a situation where he may wind up losing in 2024, because the way he threw a middle finger up at black people and didn't give us any tangibles whatsoever and blew us completely off, this may come back to haunt him later on, because the only people interested in voting for Joker Joe are these old Negroes who are part of a baby boomer generation, and that group is basically dying out at this point. So Joker Joe may not have the support he had in 2020. There's no Donald Trump he can go out here and say that it's messing up the country after he's messed it up himself. So this may be the beginning of the end of Joker Joe, but he may not even know it.
No. Yeah, I think it would be. And then you got Donald Trump. He's facing indictments and so forth. I don't see. I mean, this is all around bad situation right now for America. Where do you see anybody? Here's another thing. Do you see anybody beating him, or who was going to run against him?
I think Kennedy might have a good shot at taking him. I thought DeSantis might have had it, but he blew it because he has no agenda or vision. But Kennedy has been really aggressive, and I also thought Kristi Noem has a good shot at it because she basically can run on the whole thing of saying that she managed to keep her state in shape without going out to these extremes that violated our Constitution. So there's a lot of contenders that can take Joker Joe, who basically is not a good leader and has not really led the country in a good direction. So I think that the field is wide open, and Joker Joe may not be the one who can get the nomination as related to the whole run of 2024.
Yeah. Kennedy would run as a third party. I mean, you got Cornel West who's running as a third party, but is Cornel West the answer? I don't know. I don't think so. You think Cornel West is a good candidate?
No, I think he's weak. He's not strong enough. He's an intellectual. He's not really connected to people. That's the big problem with Cornel West. He's been in academia too long.
I think he mixes stuff up with. He tries to do that illusion of inclusion with stuff. Like, we all the same, brother. We got this thing, and it's called inequality that is hurting the black man, and the brown man, and the homosexual man, and the Asian man, and all the men. And this is the fault of Barack Obama, brother. That's Cornel West. he was very. I'll give Cornel West this. He was not on the Obama train.
Yeah.
He held him accountable. Michael Eric Dyson is still on it. Yeah, I saw what Ron DeSantis did. He's not. I don't see him running for president. He is running for president, but I don't see him winning. Just because the way Florida has been running to the ground right now, the stuff they're doing with their curriculum. I just saw they approved the Black History curriculum where they say the slaves benefit from slavery. What the hell is that?
That's going to dig his grave. He's done.
Y'all don't believe me? Wait, look at this. Nicole has this on her Twitter page. Look at that.
Yep, he's done. That right there. He's been done before the election even started.
What the hell is this? You tell me, you think he would do this? You think they would do this to the Jewish community and say that the Jews benefited from Nazi Germany? That they benefited from having Adolf Hitler as the Führer? Or Himmler's decree of racial purity? Y'all think they would benefit this? They would put something like that in schools? How the Chinese enjoyed the Japanese occupation in World War II. Unacceptable. This is disgusting. I'm not lying. Look, I'm going to play the article from NBC right now. Hold on. Y'all can hear it yourselves. Now, I like to see what the bill actually reads. Yeah, I agree. They may take stuff out of context from time to time, but this don't surprise me.
Of the College Board's revised framework.
Be real too. Out in Texas, remember when they call it the triangular trade? They approved that instead of calling it the slave trade or the transatlantic slave trade. They want to call it triangular, where they like making it like they just traded goods.
The controversial AP African American Studies.
I applaud them for taking another look at it. Though I don't agree with their outcomes by taking most of Virginia out as it pertains to our history and issues that pertain to all people in this United States.
Then came a discussion amongst Miami-Dade County's Black Affairs Advisory Board at its monthly meeting. The advisory board resolving to compile all the feedback from its board members into a letter to the governor's office.
Let's be clear about this. The governor hears our opposition. The question that we should be asking is, does he care?
Every poacher should have the opportunity to know their history.
The College Board, which oversees the Advanced Placement Pilot Course, released its new framework Wednesday morning, the first day of Black History Month. Lessons on queer studies and movements for Black lives were not included in the updated framework, but they...
Well, I agree with that. Why they equate that? What is queer studies exactly? What does that have to do with history? Yeah.
They were included as possible topics for a 1,500-word mandatory research paper. State Education Commissioner Manny Diaz discussed the controversy with us last week.
And we've gone back to the AP, to the College Board and said, look, we changed these things. They're very valuable parts of this course. And by the way, we already have 5 courses in African-American history. So it's clearly taught in the state. It's required in the state.
Experts who crafted the curriculum told NBC News the revisions were already scheduled before criticism from the state of Florida, and they said they're not caving to pressure from the governor's office. The state listed a host of concerns with the class, including Black queer studies, intersectionality, movement for Black lives, Black feminist literary thought, the reparations movement, and Black struggle in the 21st century. Ryan Nelson, NBC 6 News.
Some of this is bullshit.
Joining me
I ain't gonna
now
lie.
to weigh in on these curriculum controversies are State Senator Shepard Jones and Dr. Steve Gallen, the third, who represents District 1 on the Miami-Dade County School Board. Thank you both for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Well, it's interesting. We're in Black History Month. Black History Month. And hold up. I said history, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Should that be banned too? Yeah, okay. I'm not going to even go there. I want to start off with you, State Senator. I got to ask you. Okay. So it seems that the College Board, which is behind the controversial AP African American Studies curriculum, is bending a bit to the governor's criticism. Critical race theory, though, the Black queer experience and Black feminism have been eliminated. The study Black Lives Matter is now optional, and the topic of Black conservatism has been added. So your thoughts on all of this?
Well, I think it's important that people understand that how these AP courses are, how they come about. It's not just haphazard. A group of experts spend time in creating these curriculums. As a former AP chemistry teacher, I remember sitting in the workshops and as a practitioner and bringing those same curriculums to the students, piloting them, and then releasing them to the entire body for those who opted in to take the classes. What the governor is doing right now is far greater than just a Florida AP African American Studies thing. This is the governor trying to make a national statement.
So this is a whole video. This is from
in the next few years.
This month.
AP African American Studies is the problem now, and it's something that
well, I'm reading. Let me pause this video. I don't want to play all of it because we're about to wrap up. But one of the things I'm reading from the NBC article They say the Florida State Board of Educators' new standards includes controversial language about how slaves develop skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. According to a 216-page document about the state's 2023 standards in social studies posted by the Florida Department of Education, I have put that in the chat. Other language that has drawn the ire of some educators and education advocates includes teaching how Black people were also perpetrators of violence during race massacres. The language says instruction includes acts of violence perpetrated against and by African Americans, but is not limited to the 1906 Atlanta race riot, 1919 Washington, D.C. race riot, the 1920 Oki massacre, the 1921 Tulsa massacre, and the 1923 Rosewood massacre. I want y'all to think long and hard about this. What's going on? They want to say now that the race riots were partly our fault. We're to blame for that too. I'm looking at it right here. So that it's not, I'm going to put it up for you so that you all aren't seeing the edited version of this or from a news article. I'm reading it right here from the horse's mouth. Describe the emergence, growth, destruction, and rebuilding of Black communities during Reconstruction and beyond. Instruction includes the ramifications of prejudice, racism, and stereotyping on individual freedoms. And under classification 2, instruction includes acts of violence perpetrated against and by African Americans. How do we perpetrate violence when you are the one being targeted for violence? Can you explain that? This would be like saying the Jews were being put in the oven, but hey, they had Jews that were helping Hitler too. Excuse me? The Jews, yeah, they were being put in the oven, but they shot back at the Nazis. They shouldn't have done that. Are you freaking kidding me? That's self-defense if they did that. You want to make a last point, Sean? I'll let you have it.
Well, it looks like the people in Florida are trying to revise history and showing us how completely insane they are, because only insane people are trying to go out here and erase Black people's history in order to keep their white supremacist fantasies alive, and it just shows us how Arkham certified they are, because we all know that Black people did not benefit from slavery. They did not benefit from being second-class citizens and oppressed. Black people got no benefits whatsoever from it, and these attempts to try to revise history just show us how twisted these white supremacists are in government in Florida, who basically had the upper hand until they started going out here and pushing these crazy agendas. And this one basically may lead to Florida basically showing us all that they are now a big part of America's Arkham Asylum. You got a bunch of insane people trying to rewrite Black history instead of trying to take care of their constituents who are dealing with the highest costs as related to their economy, and dealing with all of these costs. Basically, they should be focused on building their economy instead of focusing on trying to destroy Black people. But when you're a racist, you're obsessed with Black people, and you're obsessed because you don't want to see Black people compete with you and your people. So this whole thing is, again, they always want to go out here and trying to change history, but you can't hide the truth. The truth was always out there. The truth will always be out there. And no efforts you can make to try to change the lies into the truth will not make the truth be true.
Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We're doing fine, DeAndre Mosley. DeAndre, you got to come out Saturday, man. We got the comedy show at the Verdict. I got a host of comedy shows. It is hot in New Orleans right now, ladies and gentlemen. I just came back from Atlanta. I had a great open mic. I'm actually doing a show the Bayou Distillers out, and I told Danielle about it. So I'm expecting you, Danielle. If not, I'm gonna talk about you here. I'm a clown that ass. You don't show up. But we got a great night. I mean, this. Hold on, let me put this up. This post I have here. So this is. It's hotter than July out here. We're gonna have. It is hot in July, as you all know, ladies and gentlemen. So we got this show coming up. I got to promote Shawn. So this is the show tomorrow at Comedy at the Distillery, hosted by Isaac Cozell. Meet Amanda G, Taj Washington, and yours truly, Gavin Richard. This is a split liquor production at 8 o'clock p.m., 8043 Main Street in downtown Houma. That's going to be a fire show. Bayou Terrebonne Distillers, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all come out and get that. Also, we got next week, Friday, July 28th, I will be at the 2-year anniversary of Comedy House NOLA. This is Comedy Fest 3. And also, guys, this Saturday, the big one, we got The Verdict. Right now, you get tickets on Eventbrite, ladies and gentlemen, for the Great American Last. Hosted by yours truly, G. Rich, and featuring Daryl Peterson, Duke Relly as your headliner, Easy, and Terry Scott. I also got a special guest stopping by. You don't want to miss it. I'm not going to name names, ladies and gentlemen, but he's a killer. So y'all come on out Saturday. Get your tickets on Eventbrite right now. Go look up Great American Laughs on Eventbrite, where you can get tickets. I expect to see you there, DeAndre. It's good to see you. And shout out to Danielle, ladies and gentlemen. Shawn, is your live stream? I'm just curious. Was I right that the live stream was going to be about Miss Russell?
No, I just wanted to make a video about her, and now that I've made the video, I'm going to talk about another topic. I'm just still trying to figure out what that will be.
Okay.
Because I've already gone over the points about this woman, and I don't really want to go further into it because I want to wait to see if the prosecutors are going to charge her with any crimes.
Let me ask you, just before we get off, just curious, do you think she should be fully prosecuted?
I believe she should be fully prosecuted if she's been proven to be a liar. I believe we need to start holding women like this accountable, because when they go out here and tell lies like this, what it does is it makes it harder for many other women to come forward when they have been violated by some deviant or some individual. And those women need to have a system that allows them to know that the criminal justice system is going to look out for them.
Right. I think this believe all women stuff is now turned into unweave all women. This was complete bullshit. This is going to hurt real victims. I think it does when we do have a disservice to that. It does a disservice to them. I personally don't think, and look, I get what I see some black people saying, well, Carolyn Bryant lied and she didn't get away with it. All white people doing it. No. I get what y'all saying. I understand. Yes, the rules are different when you own a venue. That's just the way it is, but I don't like it any more than you do. And I think all of them should have been prosecuted. Carolyn Bryant should still be locked up. She should have died in jail as far as I'm concerned. I understand. I'm on code with you, but no, she needs to be some of y'all, she needs to be prosecuted. If it's true. Because it's hurting. It's gonna hurt more sisters like that. That's the real thing. So, Shawn, we're gonna wrap this up, man. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully it gets cool in there. We're gonna have to buy you.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on.
We're gonna have to get Shawn some air conditioning. Good Lord, there's no AC in the apartment.
No, there's AC, but I just don't have it in this room.
Wow.
And I need to keep the door closed in order to do the show. So.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have, man. So, all right. I don't want to get in. I don't know how that didn't get into your room, but whew.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get a carpenter, man, to do that.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
And y'all can support Shawn by buying his books like The Woman Crisis and The Man Crisis only on Amazon. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, you can buy my books like The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr. on Amazon. Ladies and gentlemen, Amazon Kindle. Get that book. Get that book. That is a must read. That is a must read. Of course, by God, I get on up and video sold on iTunes. And last thing I want to say, always please find a way to support our channel by donating to the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. Be safe, ladies and gentlemen. Be one. Be blessed. I'm about to roll out because I got some other stuff I'm going to do. Shout out to my friend Kyle Shelley and his family. If they're all watching, God bless y'all. Salute and rest in power to their patriarch, Mr. Deacon Caesar Shelley. Shout out to him. Rest in power, sir. All right, fam. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all be one, be blessed, and be safe. Shawn needs a humidifier. He needs one of them those cold towels. Shit. He needs an ice cool pad up in there. All right, y'all. Peace.